Hello everyone, my name is Joe Consamagno. Welcome to the Managed Security presentation for this morning. We're going to get started here in just 1 minute. What we'll be covering is Managed Security and FusionONE. FusionONE is our managed services platform. All right, so let's get started here. What we're going to be covering today is an introduction to IntegraONE, what we're all about and who we are. We're going to be talking about FusionONE Managed Services. This managed security is part of our managed services portfolio, and I'll give you a bit of background on who we are as a managed services provider and how managed security gets performed by that team. And then we'll talk about 5 things as far as our managed security, which is the taxonomy of a cyber attack, a SIEM overview, what are critical alerts, what are high-end informational risk alerts, how do we do security awareness training, and those would be the 5 pieces of managed security. And then the last piece is why choose us for this product that we're offering to the market. So who's IntegraONE? IntegraONE is a company that's been around for 28 years, 84 members strong. So we were founded in 1990. We have offices in five locations in PA: Allentown, Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Wilkes-Barre. And we've been growing our business through lasting partnerships with dependable services. So right there, you see a list of the technologies that we provide. Security technology is obviously the focal point of this presentation, but the other 7 here are data center and server and storage, unified communications. We do have an IoT practice, Internet of Things. We're very strong in network infrastructure, cloud services, Azure, hosted servers offline or in data centers and such, co-locations, our managed services platform, which I'm in charge of, and technical repair services. So we do have partnerships with HP and Lenovo and such to be able to provide warranty repairs to our customers. So IntegraONE is combining experienced engineers with leading technology to deliver tailored solutions and services across the Mid-Atlantic region. Hold on, this seems like the slide there. Hold up, there it goes. So the markets we serve, here are the key markets that we're serving at this time. That's going to be your higher ed and K through 12. We have quite a bit of commercial customers, especially in our managed services portfolio, financial, healthcare, and government. So now I want to touch upon FusionONE. So what is FusionONE? FusionONE is the name of our managed services platform. So anything that you see from IntegraONE with a FusionONE logo, there's an option for it to be managed, or it comes to you as a managed solution, which means that we're taking care of the alerts, we're taking care of the updates, etc. So FusionONE does not sell technology, software, function, or features. We're delivering a proactive, preventative approach to managing technology so you can focus on your organizational priorities. So what are we delivering? Increase user productivity and uptime. And how are we delivering that? Our guys are looking at alerts, they're looking at updates, they're making sure that networks are running as best as they can by putting monitoring tools out there. So if you have CPU, RAM issues, where they're spiking 90, 80% on a trending over a given period of time, our engineers are going to reach out to those users, as well as we're providing better network stability. So making sure that your network's running on great code, good code that's we're using across multiple customers. And it doesn't matter if it's, and I'll get to a slide here that shows all of our different vendors, but it doesn't matter if it's Fortinet or Cisco, etc. What we're aiming to do is provide you guys with the best updates, the best features turned on your network. So when we review your networks every 90 days and make sure that features are turned on and they're not dragging down your network, such as different spam filters and such, double checking things, we're going to be able to provide better network stability by by fine-tuning it to what's going to work best for each environment. And then a decreased security risk. With all those updates being provided and somebody watching over from the background and make sure that issues aren't occurring, things are being done proactively. If a machine gets compromised, we'll get notified of it. So it decreases your security risk, but this presentation here, as I get more into it, you'll see how we can do that even better. but lower overall IT costs. So if we're getting better performance from the machines there, a user isn't going to typically have a problem 2 years in a life cycle of a 3-year or a 5-year PC and say, hey, this thing is slow, I'm having issues. If we're taking care of all the attacks that can be coming, from the common viruses and such, and we're keeping those machines clean, the expectation is those machines should last longer and your network should last longer. And lastly, we're providing the highest level of responsiveness and support to ensure your success. The team that I manage here, they commonly meet SLAs of getting back to users within 30 minutes on an email, picking up the phone, but between 60 and 90 seconds or when a phone call comes in. So all that data is available to share with our partners that have managed services with us. So what's the size of our MSP team? We've been doing managed services for 15 years. We have about 32 team members, and we're supporting over 5,000 devices, 400 plus servers, 4,500 desktops, and over 1,000 network devices. And that team is spread across all 5 of our offices. So we're providing a valuable partnership. Our team is responsive and knowledgeable. Experts take a personalized approach. We're learning about your account. We're bringing in information. We have a document management tool that we have hosted for all of our engineers to log into, and that data is updated for each one of our clients, and it changes obviously on a weekly or monthly basis. So when an engineer logs in and look at your account, they get pop-ups of who to contact there, best practices that we put in place, etc. So again, we're dedicating to fully understanding your organization's unique IT environment and requirements. And lastly, before I hop into specifically managed security, here's a list of our vendor partners that we've been working with for years, and the common ones that we'll recommend into the customers that we work with. So you have HP on there, HPE, HPI, Fortinet, StorageCraft, Webroot, Barracuda, Noble4, etc. So now we're going to dig directly into managed security. I'm going to cover these 5 topics here. Again, taxonomy of a cyber attack, what's a SIEM, critical alerts, high and informational risk alerts, and then we'll show you how we do a security awareness training for your users. So what's a taxonomy of a cyber attack? So this is kind of your generic network here. On the left-hand side, you have the bad guy, the probe. On the right-hand side, you have your main location. You have your switch, your mail server, router, corporate users. You have antivirus running, firewall, etc. You have a remote users over there on the right-hand side. I'm sorry, on the left-hand side. And what is this probe trying to do? He's trying to break in and do those orange attacks there. So attacking your, getting through your firewall. How are they going to do that? We're not quite sure yet. I'll show you what type of logs and such that we're going to be pulling from it. But when they get in, they're going to want to install a backdoor on your mail server, start to make configuration changes, add users, promote users. So add a basic user and then promote them to admin, and then they can begin to make changes. So things along that nature is where they're going to want to get in. They're gonna crack into your firewall, peek around, and find out where they can make changes and sneak around the network without being noticed, and live there for a while collecting data. Who do you guys talk to? What vendors do you speak to on a common basis? Who's comfortable paying you guys money with just an email? Those are the types of things that they're looking for when they get in. So how do we stop that? So it's by putting a SIEM in place. So what is a SIEM? It's combining a security information management system and a security event management system. You'll see this term all over the industry, SIEM, and it functions integrated into one security management platform. And what are the underlying principles of every SIEM? It's to aggregate relevant data from multiple sources, identify deviations from the norm, and take appropriate action. So stepping back and kind of explaining what those 3 items are, right now across your network, you're getting tons and tons of logs. Every user is creating logs, every device is creating logs, and we want to put those all into one place. And then from there, we want to see what's going on in the environment, what happens every day, what users do what. And then that's how we identify deviations from the norm, by collecting all those logs that may not be, well, they're probably not being looked at commonly engagements that we have. This is not a software like this that's collecting all those logs. So those logs are coming from your servers, your switches, your APs, etc. So on average, a network device will create 1,000 logs per minute. So that means a small 25 user network can generate millions of event logs every day. So it's important to correlate the data and create real actionable items to react to. So we'll be pulling thousands of logs a minute, millions of logs a day, but we need to find out what is actually what is an actionable item here? What is a threat? So what we're doing is we're taking those logs and we're pumping them through a SOC. We have a partnership with a SOC that's out of the southeast of the United States, and they put knowledge into our SIEM and pull it out as well, identifying security incidents such as policy violations and fraudulent activity, things that are different from the norm. And when these incidents are identified, the SOC will take action 24/7, 365 to mitigate that attack. And in a couple slides, I'll show you what specifically that means. But the important thing here is we're taking all those SIEM logs, millions of logs, pumping them through a security operations center, and filtering those to see what is actually important. And really, it's going to break down the 1, 2, or 3 logs out of the millions that we get, but those are the ones that are going to be, and that's on a daily basis. Those are the ones we're going to want to react to. So what are the examples of these alerts that we're going to react to? Well, this is a list of critical alerts, and critical alerts represent actions that can be calmly indicative of an active attack and should immediately be investigated and responded to. So critical potential breach by an unknown process, a critical potential breach from a low reputation IP, excessive login failures due to bad usernames or passwords, excessive login failures from an IP address, and terminated connections to a bad IP. So those 5 things there are very high risk alerts for us. They're going to be identified immediately, and we're going to get a call from our SOC, and we're going to start to work on that. So down below there, you'll see immediate actions to mitigate the damage that will not impact the client operations. Apologize for the client being spelled wrong there. But the actions include blocking those IPs, blocking the ports, disabling the services, and removing the malicious software, and then contacting the client. So we're going to do all this stuff in the background, whether at 2 a.m. if you're the president of your company has 15, 20 excessive login failures, we're going to disable his account. We're going to figure out why that's happening, and we're going to reach out to you guys in the morning, or if you do sign up to get calls from us at any point of the day, then we're going to give you a buzz as soon as we figure out exactly what's going on, and tell you what's going on and what we're going to do to fix it. Here's a list of more critical alerts. So new process connected to a well-known attacker, detection of the most critical cyber attacks, including a crypto locker or other ransomware, the SIEM finding new processes that connect outside the firewall, checking across multiple threat databases to decrease false positives. These types of things happen every 6 months, commonly every 6 months. We can't guarantee it's going to happen 6 months in your environment, but that's typically what our SOC is telling us. And the security impact is being very high of this. So what are we going to do? We're going to terminate that type of process. We're going to isolate the affected machines, and we're going to stop lateral movement between the environment. What's another alert that could trigger us here, considered a critical alert? And it's a new process starts listening to a new port. The SIEM will notify the security team for immediate review. How often does this happen? The data that we have from our SOC tells us this happens about once every 6 months. So what's the security impact of this? Very high if an unplanned entry is opened. A new vulnerability can be very dangerous. And what are we going to do? What's our action? We're going to review to identify which process and vendor opened the port and approve or define corrective actions. So high informational risk alerts, these are the types of things that they're commonly part of an attack process, but can be triggered by normal business actions. So as we learn more and more about your environment, the longer this software sits there, the longer we're reacting to alerts and such, we're going to make changes and tweak this so that we're responding to things and alerting you of things that actually are going to be issues. So if you're commonly having users added to the domain admin or local admin group, if that's the type of environment you have where you have 300, 400 users in a retail environment, people being added, people are leaving, then we're going to tune down those alerts and not get hit with all those types of security alerts. And but maybe something else is different, where users are allowed or not allowed to put USB devices into desktops or any device there, laptop, desktop, and we're going to turn up the volume on those alerts so that we get that type of activity coming in. And unusual Windows interactive login activity, new Windows user location activity. So if those desktops and those laptops aren't supposed to be outside of PA or New York, etc., then we're going to turn up the alerts to see when those types of events are happening. So that's a definition of a high informational risk alert. So those are the types of things that we're going to tweak and understand best about your environment. The next thing I'm going to jump into is how do we do things that are outside of this. So all these different alerts or and logs and such are happening on your desktops, your servers, your network devices, but what can we do to help prevent your users from getting compromised via email? And that's how, and security awareness is how we do that. We have a partnership with KnowBe4 that allows phishing campaigns and phishing tools to be run on your users. And the phishing tools used to help with end user training and awareness. So it's an automated security awareness program that has integration directly with Active Directory. So we'll have all of your users listed in one area, and then we'll be able to create groups off of that. So here are your accounting users, here's your HR users, here's your sales team, and then we'll begin to target them with different types of campaigns. So we have 2,500 different successful phishing templates. So we can target users with emails that look like they're coming from Chase, that look like they're coming from Salesforce, LinkedIn, etc. Another common thing we'll do is we will send out emails on things like Labor Day specials, or Mother's Day, Father's Day, those types of things that are going to get people to click, and then we can customize what landing pages that we're going to send them to. So if you want to send them to your, something that says, hey, enter your password. If you want to send them to something that says, hey, you shouldn't have clicked on this link, those are the types of things that we can do. And then set it and forget it scheduling. So what that means is we can set this campaign up. We can, if you have 100 people in your environment, we can hit 5 people a day for the next 20 days, and then we'll come back in 3 weeks to see who failed, who did what, and then set up training from that. We also have a USB drive test that we can do. So we can create USB drives, put them all over your office, see who plugs in what. As soon as they plug it in, we get a notification that user A plugged this into their device. Phishing attacks, this is over the phone attack, so we can program your user cell phones or numbers that they're commonly going to pick up on and send them an automated message similar to maybe what you've already gotten from these types of attacks that says, hey, this is Chase, we're looking for information, press 1 if you expect to receive this call, etc. And we'll hit your users with that and see who reacts to what. Customizable hover over links. So when you have these emails get sent out, one of the tricks of the trade of finding if a bad link is embedded into an email is hovering over it and seeing if it says yahoo.ir or yahoo.org or whatever the case may be. So with this, we're going to train users, and we can even put in there when they hover over it, don't click on this link, and we'll see if they still click on it. We have tests also available for opening Microsoft Office applications, attachments such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So send an email to a user, say, hey, attached is the build for your server. That's something that we would get, but if they click that and they open it, we'll be able to see that. And then lastly, social engineering indicators. This is a patented technology that turns every simulated phishing email into a tool you can use dynamically to train employees by instantly showing them the hidden red flags that they miss within the email. So after we do one of these campaigns, then we can take them through a training and say, hey, here's what you should have identified, here's what you shouldn't have clicked, things along that nature. So what are we getting out of this? We're getting reporting based on hover over, opened, clicked, what browser you use. All that data is pulled in, so you can see if people opened emails from their phone, if they clicked attachments from their phone, if they did it from their home PC, if they did it over OWA, and then we're going to push them to trainings. And when we push them to trainings, those can be video, those can be a group training. We can see who enrolled, who started it, who started the course, who completed it, who spent so much time on it, etc. And then we'll over time, on the left hand side there, you'll see the different types of tests that we're running on your users. And hopefully, as we start to push out campaigns, we do video attack. I'm sorry, phishing attacks, the voiceover, the voice phone calls to some of your users. They begin to make this graph go down. So left hand side would commonly be the beginning of when we start to do these campaigns on companies, and the right hand side is hopefully 6 months later that they're no longer clicking and opening and replying to emails that were generated by us that are meant to trick them into thinking, hey, I should reply to this AR company, accounts receivable. This is an example of one of the emails that we send out, that we can send out. So it looks like it's coming from LinkedIn Sales Navigator, but you can see that when we customize this email, the things under red are the things that they should be checking. So you're not going to see Dear Valid LinkedIn User on an actual LinkedIn email. And then down below, that linkedin.net/account services, hovering over that, they should see something that says, do not click this. That's why that's flagged. And if they click it, boom, then we have them in a failure status and we can reach out to them for testing, etc. So what does the managed services team do with this know before and the security awareness? We're running unlimited campaigning. So if you sign up for this, we'll create lists, we'll create emails and such for you, and we'll target your users. So you'll tell us when to target, who to target, how to target users, and you'll have access to the same know before tool set that we'll have. So we'll provide, if you have an IT staff available at your company, we'll train them on know before. They can run campaigns along with us. They can flip stuff over to us, but we'll give you access into everything that we have, so then you can see real time what's happening. So if we're running a campaign at 9 a.m. this morning, you'll be able to see those failures and successes come in. So wrapping things up, why FusionONE? FusionONE is going to be the right choice for you as a managed service provider, handling everything I just covered over the last 10 slides. So we're dedicated to ensuring your choice of the FusionONE managed services platform of IntegraONE is the very best investment your organization can make. We'll focus on helping you meet your business objectives and exceed the expectations of your customers. So here's a list of we have over 110 satisfied clients right now on our managed services platform. Here's a list of about 15, 16 of them right now. And as you guys get acquainted with us, we'll be happy to introduce you to them to talk about the experience that they've had with us. The last thing I want to tell you guys is all attendees who complete the short survey after this webinar will receive a $10 Starbucks gift card. So we encourage you to take that email that you're going to get, do the survey, and then to receive a small gift from us. So I want to thank you for joining the webinar today on our managed security platform. We try to do this once a month on different types of topics. And below there, you'll see our IntegraONE.com email address, sales@integraone.net. And if you want to have any questions you want answered, feel free to give us a call at the number below. But again, thanks for joining us today, and we'll be happy to work with you guys in the future. Thanks.